Nova is here, he's the leader of Alpha, leading the charge. Yeah. With his main man Heavy, hit up right by, hit his side at the raid. Together they fight, and guards their corridor, rich and valor, fighting for good. They refuse to back down in this war for justice. They wear the crown. Nova and Heavy Hitter, they rise from the dust. Fighting for their cause, they never back down. With Big Boy Leroy, his feet firmly underground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. Through shadows of doubt, they light up the way. With power and purpose, they seize every day. Their enemy tremble in the dark. Nova and Heavy Hitter, our heroes embark in the big galaxy that's covered by night. They bring the fire and ammunition to ignite. For it's Alpha they serve, their honor was true. Nova and Heavy Hitter, they rise from the dust. Fighting for the cause, they never back down. With Big Boy Leroy, his feet firmly on the ground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. For every shadow, they bring the light. Nova and Alpha, defenders of the right.
And now you get to see me do a little dance. This is Corey Investor Dark Matter right here.
I'm talking AGP, AntiGravity, project I respect, staying true to the tech. We got the evil address and the pink Miss Will, got the dark matter token going up, I can tell. Hey, I can tell this is the start of something fresh. Shout out Hex Revision and Donna Hex, yes. I confess, Hexicans don't stress, cause as a community we one up. So tell me, are you in, or tell me, are you out? Do you want to win, or do you chase the clout? What is this really about? The treasury and lottery. If you meant dark tokens, you can get a part of it. So how does it work? Let me explain. First you buy the dark token, now you're in the game. Then you mint the dark and get a fuel cell. That's an NFT, one that earns yield. As long as you have it, it feels like magic. But if you vaporize the NFT, that's tragic. So most think crypto is a game. Are you here for the fame or here to make a name? See, Hexicans reign, we create our own lane. I thought I told you, we the new financial gain. AGproject.io with the flow. And if you know what I know, then you know what I know. That's how it go. Something like to support the team, the dream. Public service announcement, t.me/anti-gravity saga. It's the Telegram. Tap in. This for y'all. I'm talking AGP, AntiGravity, project I respect, staying true to the tech. We got the evil address and the pink Miss Will, got the dark matter token going up, I can tell.
There we go. I love that song. I'll play that over and over.
Yeah, it's a pretty catchy tune.
It's part of our art contest. You can vote for that song, and you can vote for the music video that AJ Rip City Hex made. We got the gang piling in here. We got Ted Nelson. Good afternoon, Ted. Great remarks on the no permissions yesterday. Appreciate that. Moonmutt's in the house. Red Squirrel pops. Afternoon, Ted. Defenders of the right. And no, it's Defenders of the Right. It's not the Reich. You got to quit telling people that. Kids, hey Moonmutt. Wilhelm is here. Guten Abend, Wilhelm. I'm just here for tech support. Thank you. Hex T. Armstrong. Tracy G. in the place to be. Good afternoon. Diehard Hex King. So good to see you here. Hi, Max. Hi. Smoke Spider with the medals. Smoke Spider has also got a bunch of art in the art contest. Go check that out. Retrostatic. Hi. CryptoCat 46. Good afternoon, CryptoCat. Where in the world is Carmen CryptoCat San Diego? And of course, Guten Abend, Ervan Krutzen. Too much German in our. I think we're going to start getting German followers just because of the silliness from Red Squirrel XT Armstrong. So you're in Arlington, Texas right now. That's quite a bit of ways from home. He's on the road trip, so we'll check in with him every day as he throws up his Starlink to buy crypto and participate. I know what the winning move is in anti-gravity. You just mint the fuel cells. Get dark, mint the fuel cells, just like Corey Investor raps in the song. First you get the dark, then you mint the fuel cells, one that earns yield. As long as you have it, it's like magic. If you vaporize it, that would be tragic. So you don't want to unwrap or burn, or as we call them, vaporize those ever. Hack in our game is to just mint as many of the fuel cells as you can and buy as many of the older fuel cells if they ever come available on the market because they get a higher yield. The older, the better.
We don't have bigger pays better. We don't have longer pays better. We have older pays better.
So this is the art that's attached to the first NFT. We call this the Michael Jordan rookie card because this one gets the highest yield from the treasury forever, basically. I love that. And Corey Investor just showed up. I'm late to class today. What's up, Max and C3 Works? What's up, Corey? We were just bopping to your tune earlier. As you were saying, a lot of people aren't familiar with the term family office. Not many people in crypto really have these connections to people that are managing very large amounts of money. So when we got Hex and we actually had a protocol that we could trust with our money to actually pay us back, that was a huge evolution in crypto. Everyone joined these cloud farming things. They joined BitConnect. Every time someone trusted someone with their crypto, surprised they ran away with the money. It was just a systemic problem. And so when Richard Hart came out and gave us actual numbers and immutable code, it was something that people like myself, our mind was blown. We're like, oh my gosh, we actually have some certainty here. And you deal and have talked and been around people that certainty isn't just a request, it's a requirement. These people are not going to invest 10, 20, 30 million dollars into something unless they know the exact risk by number, the exact reward by number, and so forth.
And they manage it a bit. You've got to be able to manage your risk. You can't just take a position and accept whatever the risk is for the next X years. There's got to be some element of managing it.
Let's face it, most people that get into crypto are just a little insane and degenerate gamblers because they've seen, here's the risk and here's the upside. Why isn't everyone doing this? That's what crypto bros think. And the first time that a pizza boy delivering pizza makes money on GameStop, or the first time that he buys some crazy meme coin and he makes $1 million, even if he doesn't realize it, even if it's on paper, he makes $1 million and goes back down. It destroys that pizza delivery's mind forever. His beliefs about money and what it takes to earn money and what money is are shattered. We have this merging of just insane people that are a little bit out of the box, and when these people that understand money and finance at a deeper level than most of us get a chance to. Crypto is hard. Every time that you find another project that you're interested in, you have to ask yourself, do I have the headspace? Do I have the time every week to manage this, to check on it, to see if I need to adjust it? Stuff like ink printer, stuff like the DAT farms and LP providing all sorts of stuff. You only have so many hours in a day. And most of us spend about 12 hours a day trying to catch up on all the streams. And I'm not helping with my long streams here. There's never enough time and it's hard to keep up with everything. Other thing that you need to know about Bistro is that you don't have to buy the entire lot for sale. You don't have to buy all $7. You can buy $1, you can buy 50 cents, whatever you want to buy, you can buy pieces of it. So there's a 926 dark for sale they're worth 11,500, almost 11,600 bucks. And you can buy them for 11,100 bucks. So there's about a $400 or $500 arbitrage right here if someone wanted to just come and gobble the whole thing down. But if they didn't want to gobble the whole thing down, they could click buy and they could put the amount that they want to buy. Let's say they just wanted to buy 2 of them at that price. If I wanted to buy 2, it'd charge me $25 of diet. I could click buy and just buy a piece of it. So you don't have to buy the whole order that you see here on Bistro. That's something that's not intuitive that I like to share with people. I don't recommend going to Tejas and dumping stuff very often. Sometimes it's a great place to get good deals. For instance, Dark right here. Dark was not worth $11.59 2 days ago. This would have been worth, I don't know, 10,500. I would be paying more over here. But because the price of Dark went up recently, now I'm actually getting a good deal on this arbitrage. So there's a lot of cool ways to play this and protect the chart. As you can see, this is the long one with Dark and Pulse. You can see what sell pressure can do to a chart with low liquidity. If this person had taken profit on Bistro, you'd have a much different chart. If a whale or someone big wants to get out of a position, tell them to head over to Bistro and see how much the community is willing to buy at a decent price without slippage. Celebrity in the house, Prairie Banana, hit the like and sub. Shout out to PTGC and the Alien Tech community. And then Hexty says, welcome Prairie Banana. We are officially bananas now. That's my favorite word. I've been trying to cut down on swearing on stream, so I'd say bananas instead of other expletives. So that's kind of a thing here. Everyone in crypto is dying for some passive income instead of this feast and famine thing we go through every 4, 5, 6 question mark years. Well, another thing that we heard in Vegas by almost everyone, all the builders, were we think that dark matter and anti-gravity is fascinating. We don't understand any of it. Like everyone told me the same thing. It seems cool. We don't get it. And same thing with Bill here. Bill and RJ, they're just like, I don't get it. Let's go to my favorite website in the entire world, which is agproject.io. It's my favorite website because I paid a lot of money for it. Here's the anti-gravity, and let's actually start at the homepage. If you go to AntiGravity, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We have the contract address up top that we've added recently to make sure people know that they've got the right address. And then you basically have the wish well, the minting, and the collective, which are 3 big options down below. And they're also listed above as well. We're just going to go to minting because that's the main thing that you want to do if you have dark tokens or if you buy dark tokens. You want to take your dark tokens here, and every 33 days, this clock right here counts down to a minting window. So when this counts down, you will have 11 days to join the next game, or as we call them, journeys. So you'll have 11 days to mint 1 for 1 dark matter token into 1 fuel cell NFT. And your fuel cell NFT is basically your game piece to this game. So you have 11 days to mint here, and then this will close and this clock will start back over at 33 more days. It's a limited time amount to join each round of the game or each journey of the game.
Is the fuel cell NFT that I create from the Dart when the window's open, is that unique to the particular journey that is upcoming?
Yes, great question. So we're on journey 3 right now, or round 3 of the game. And the last window that was open was minting Journey 3 NFTs. And when this closes, we'll be minting Journey 4 NFTs when this opens up again. Cool. Now, your NFT has a couple mechanisms to it. First of all, it has beautiful community-created art. You'll see behind me, you've got the Rings of Dust book with the astronaut and the symbols at the bottom. And that's the piece of art that we attached to Journey 1's NFTs. I would want to go to Pulse Market app because it'll actually show them a little bit better. If you go to my wallet, you can see the different game pieces. So you have the 3 of these NFTs that were in Journey 1. You have one Journey 2 NFT, which has this art created by Red Squirrel. And then Journey 3s have this spaceship with the logos on the bottom. And this piece of art was actually a 2-minute video that we didn't really want to put on the blockchain or on our server. So we actually did a still of the beginning of it. But this is the J3s. And we started putting the J2 and the J3 mark up in the top of these as well. So the first one doesn't have any mark. It's just original. And then J2's marked up in the corner and J3's are. So you can visually see the difference between them on Pulse Market app.
Is it good, bad, indifferent to have one or more of these fuel cells?
Yep, that's a great question. I would recommend trying to get fuel cells in each one of the journeys because the older pays better. This first round of NFTs, they split 3% of the treasury every 45 days. So every 45 days, the treasury pays 3% of its total amount to all of the remaining J1 fuel cells or Journey 1 fuel cells. The yield goes down by 10% every journey. So it starts at 3, and then it goes to 2.7, and then it goes to 2.43, and so on. Does that make sense?
It does. And then you're saying that if somebody wasn't participating before, those are things that are purchasable on the open market somehow.
Yes, if you come here to Pulse Market app, right now we have some of the J3s are being listed. Let me search fuel. This is our collection right here. 300,000 of these right now, to all combined with the 3 games. But if I just go to priced, there were several more of these this morning, but people have been buying these. So here are 6 of the J3 NFTs for sale for about $19 each. And if you buy these fuel cells right here, so this one's owned by BO86 currently, and I don't control or know whose address that one is. But if we go back, so this one's listed at 19.11 EDI. You go to our Telegram, there's a specific daughter address of the mystery box that's selling, and we know for sure that those ones have not won the lottery or been scraped, or some of them have won the lottery but haven't been scraped. So these other ones, they may or may not be live lottery tickets, and I can get into that in just a second. But this is a place where you can buy them, and this is where you would see the J1s or the J2s. Sorry, I got lost in the weeds there trying to show people something specific about these.
So at a high level, the fuel cell for any given journey receives a number of benefits. One of them is that there's artwork of some sort like these that are attached. Another is that there's some sort of treasury funding that occurs in different ways.
Yes, that's a really good way to put it. You have the art, you have the treasury, and you also have the lottery. So if you were to go back to this main page with the minting and you click on tools, it'll take you to the beta page, which is beta.agproject.io. And this is where you can see the lottery and you can see the treasury. The lottery is cool because if you minted for Journey 3, your NFT is a lottery ticket that is entered into 3 drawings, unless it wins, obviously. So there are 3 drawings, a big, bigger, and biggest drawing of dark matter. And your fuel cells have a chance, a 1 in 21 chance of winning one of these drawings right here. So we have 106,000 fuel cells that were minted for Journey 3. And so each one of those fuel cells has a 1 in 21 chance of winning one of these lotteries. We had the last lottery last Wednesday, and last Wednesday, each one of the winners walked away with 10.99 tokens. So each winner got 10.99 dark matter tokens.
A 1 in 21 chance of winning when I see that there's 106,000 fuel cells active. That means multiple fuel cells can split as winners?
No, actually, one fuel cell is one winner. When you mint the NFT, 20% of that money that was used to mint goes into the lottery, the jackpot. 77% of it goes into the treasury, and 3% of it goes to the team. So there's a 3% tax. Then, like I said, 20% of everything minted ends up here in the jackpot box, and 77% goes to the lottery. So that's actually where we get the amount of dark that's going to be raffled off or drawn. We divvy it up, and basically every fuel cell has a 0.048% chance of winning at least one drawing, right? Well, I shouldn't say at least one, but one drawing, because if it wins the drawing, it is taken out of the running for the other two. This here, if we were to take this times the 106,000 that were minted, that would give you 5,120.9 winners. And because we can't have 0.9 winners, we would round that up to 5,121 winners.
And how do they split the reward?
They would split was in that jackpot.
Okay.
So we're going to take 5,121 and we're going to divide it by 3 drawings, and that equals 1,707 winners per drawing. We'll have about 1,700 winners each time. And then this last jackpot was quite a bit. And so when you divided that jackpot by this number of winners, it equaled 10.99. So everyone that was already paid out last Wednesday got 10.99 per fuel cell that won. And it shows up right here in this box. Right here, it'll say how many fuel cells won and what your total amount of dark matter is. And this will happen again after 5 days and 4 hours counting down. Let me refresh it just to make sure that this clock is more accurate. Yep. So in 5 days and 4 hours, 1,700 more winners will be drawn. And it will depend on this right here. This is saying there's 14,244 dark up for grabs. You got 30% of the jackpot that's going to be drawn out in 5 days. Equal about 8 dark matter per winner. I'm making it more complicated the more I answer.
No, I think that helped. It helped because I watched how you divided the total number of fuel cells by 21 and saw how they got sort of a pro rata share of one of those pools.
So the cool thing about the lottery is this is a nice dopamine hit. This is the icing on the cake, because as soon as I hit scrape and I pay the fees to the network, these tokens show up in my wallet as liquid tokens. I can go sell them. I can go liquidity provide. I can hang on to them for the next game to mint in the next game. So I basically get some free game pieces. But whether or not my fuel cell wins this lottery, it becomes a piggy bank afterwards. On the last day of each journey, the treasury will pay out to every active fuel cell. And right now we've got about 25% of our supply already locked in the treasury. So the treasury's paid out about almost 13,000 dark so far that are inside the fuel cells from journey 1 and 2. And then as journey 3 ends, it will receive its first payment. And journey 1 and journey 2 will also receive payments.
Is dark the same as dark matter? I see it worded differently, but I don't want to make any assumptions.
It is. It's all the same PRC20 token dark matter, and it has the same contract address right here. You use dark matter to get into the game, and then the lottery is paid in dark and the treasury is paid in dark.
Okay.
The interesting thing about the treasury is it is locked inside the NFTs. Payouts from the treasury are unavailable or unclaimable until you vaporize your fuel cell, till you break open your piggy bank. Then it becomes a game of chicken to see who's willing to wait longer and let their piggy bank fill up fuller with dark matter.
Right.
And who just wants to smash it open as soon as the price jumps and they have a significant amount in there.
Kind of resembles those Watsas from a while back.
Exactly like the Watsas. Exactly. In fact, we took that piece of the Watsa, and when I minted the Watsa NFTs, I couldn't believe that there was only one chance to do it. I thought they should have had another round of minting.
Yeah.
And they probably would have gotten a lot more people minting. Yeah, this is the exact same game theory as What's-A, where your piggy bank fills with coins until you smash it open. And if you smash it open, your share of the coins go to the other people who have not smashed open their piggy bank.
Okay.
It starts out as dust because it's 3% split up amongst 161,000 piggy banks.
Right.
But as this treasury swells and bloats, the payouts become more and more significant. At some point, it reaches a tipping point where it starts to exhaust the treasury because it's paying out to multiple wallets and it's compounding. Eventually, it will return to dust again. However, as long as Pulse Chain is running, this will continue to pay out every 45 days indefinitely.
Okay.
There's definitely a curve and a sweet spot to mint these, and that's why Journey 1, 2, 3, and 4 are so valuable, is because they're going to get the lion's share of this treasury over time.
Very cool.
Also, now we've talked about, you take the dark matter, you mint it for a fuel cell. The fuel cell has some cool art, and it also is a lottery ticket for 33 days. Then it turns into a piggy bank. So that's kind of the three main parts of the NFT. Zooming out to the evil address, that's the next tab here. The evil address, it's got an unfair advantage. The evil address started out with 65% of the 1 million tokens. It's a smart contract that is set to mint almost all of its tokens into NFTs. You can actually see the evil addresses minting schedule under our darker paper, which is on our community tab. Let me pull that up real quick.
I love it. Darker paper.
We have a dark paper and a darker paper, but we have to update the dark paper because it's mostly ideas behind the game theory, and then this is really what kind of shows you the diagram of what's going on. So we started with 1 million dark tokens, and like I said, the evil address got 65% of that. The mystery box got 24% of that. And then 11% were given out to people that participated in the mining and the Wishwell era. They also received airdrops. We had close to 1,000 addresses given to us from No Permissions and Randy. And we got about 1,000 addresses from the Forge NFT holders. So that's where the bulk of supply hit the market. And as I said, when you mint 1-for-1, you mint one dark matter token into one AG NFT or fuel cell NFT, then it gets split into the treasury, the jackpot or giveaway address, and the space toll or the team tax. So this is just basically, where does the dark go after mint? We don't burn it. We don't take it. It actually funds the entire game. When you mint, playing the game funds the game. Here's the evil address minting schedule, and it shows how many NFTs it's going to mint each journey. You have the reward payout schedule where it shows the yield from the treasury dropping by 10% every journey. And as you can see, the evil address has gone really heavy in the top 4, even the top 5, even the top 6. So the evil address is really basically following the schedule of the treasury payout. It's kind of inverse right there.
Yep.
So there's 33 journeys, all last 45 days, which is just barely over 4 years. This whole game will be about 4 years long. And at the end of those years, as you can see, the evil address is going to deplete itself in minting the game pieces. The treasury will be paying out 29% every 45 days. Imagine that would deplete and exhaust the treasury pretty quickly. I believe that the tipping point is somewhere here around 7, 8, or 9, where there's more money going into the treasury for the whole beginning, and then it hits a point where it's even amounts going out. It drops to where it depletes.
Okay.
So there's like a life cycle to our treasury, which our treasury had no tokens in it whatsoever when we started. And now it's got 25% of the supply. And as you can imagine, we're going to be doing a lot more of the supply is going to end up here in the treasury. Most people don't realize we only have 1 million tokens. There's no inflation. There's no way to get more. In fact, at the end of the 33 chances to mint or play the game, there's something called the rapture. If you have dark matter tokens in a wallet and you're not using them in the game or for liquidity providing, they're going to be destroyed forever.
Wow.
There will be a day when our circulating supply is 0 outside of LP. We have never seen anyone do this before. It may skyrocket us up to insane values, and it might take us to 0. But that's one of the insane experiments that we're trying with this game.
Fun.
Yeah.
Everybody very sticky.
Kind of like game of chicken. where someone says, I got a buy and burn token. And then someone says, well, I got a deflationary token. And then there's just a guy in the corner, like playing with a knife. He has a weird look on his face, like the Joker. And he's like, I'm taking mine to zero. That's us. We're the psycho in the corner that said, we're taking our supply to zero. That's how seriously we scarcity around here in anti-gravity. Now that you know what the evil address does and is, we've had a couple variations on the game come out, where basically the evil address was sitting on something like 17,000 dark matter tokens that it had won in lotteries. It had not scraped or harvested them. The collective is what we call our group, the good guys, the underdogs, the collective. They were able to hack the evil address and add this scrape button to, this was the one that was blurred out forever. You can basically steal the evil address's lottery winnings and roll them over into the next jackpot. They robbed this evil address blind within hours of the last drawing. That's why there's a zero right here. They abused the hell out of this button. It's got a fee on it. It was supposed to be $1 of pulse, but since pulse has dropped, it's like 60 cents a pulse you pay plus the transaction fee to hit this button. Hit this button until it just disappears almost right here. The other thing that you could do with the evil address is the evil address is a smart contract and it is going to mint all of those into fuel cells. But if you want to piss him off, you can actually hit this button during the minting window and mint ahead of schedule for him. So you're basically minting on behalf of the evil address and you're pumping money into the treasury and the lottery when you do so.
All right.
And then, of course, Vaporize. There's a really cool feature here that we're working on moving to another place on the website. That's because you don't even want to come here. You don't want to even go close to this button, approve and vaporize. You do not want to break open your piggy bank, especially this early in the game. And if you were to break a piggy bank open that's a Journey 3, it would actually kick you, like you wouldn't even be eligible for the lottery. So you definitely don't want to hit, vaporize. One feature that is worth coming here for some of you is if you just hit 7. So I've got 7 fuel cells in here. Instead of hitting approve and vaporize, I don't want to do that. There's this little button right here. It says view selected fuel cells. You can see those fuel cells that I was showing you on the Pulse Market app. Here's the 3 from Journey 3 that haven't been paid anything yet. Here's the one from Journey 2 that's got 0.04 dust accumulated in it. And then here's the Michael Jordan rookie cards that have 0.07. At the end of this journey, 3 will receive its first payment, 2 will receive its second, and Journey 3s will receive their third payment. So as you can see, this is going to accumulate a lot faster with the older ones than with the newer ones.
Right.
We plan on moving this feature to another place on the site so you don't have to come to this dangerous neighborhood and risk nuking yourself by vaporizing.
Cool.
And we get all of our art for the NFTs from a community contest. If you go to Twitter and you go to communities, there's a group called The Collective, and you do have to join this in order to participate. But here, for instance, Zephyr Trips just barely put this up for the art contest. We count the likes and the retweets here as votes. So nice. I'm also going to like it and I'm going to repost it. When you repost it, it actually goes outside of the community so that everyone on Twitter can see it. But this is where you got to put it to get the votes. We have 418 people in our Telegram and only 26 have wandered in here. And most of them are the people competing in the art contest. One of these pieces of art is going to be chosen for the NFT in Journey 4. And like I said, there's just insanity going on with the passion and creativity here. We have just insane. We have songs, we have poems, we have videos, we have art, we have all sorts of crazy things going on right now that one of these is going to be to win that. And like I said, the way that we set this up, there's a dragon one from Zephyr Trips. Interesting. Wow. Beautiful stuff. A lot of stuff with the evil address. A lot of stuff with mystical fantasy and sci-fi stuff here. Our community is hands down the best damn community in crypto. Like I'll put my 50 psychopath badasses against 1 million Robinhood traders. And I guarantee that our products are going to win over theirs.
Oh yeah. Got some real creative.
I thought this was a fun way to give some more emotion to the art. And the top finalists will receive 10,000 reward points and 10 dark. And then the final winner gets 10 dark and 1 million reward points. So this is a way to pay back and let the community put their fingerprints and their hands on the project and be a part of it from their work. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I could even see where you put together sort of a overview analytics of the whole system where it's kind of like traveling the galaxy or something, and you can see the Journey 1 guys out in front and Journey 2 and Journey 3, And inside each of those, you might have the stats or something associated with that. How many fuel cells are there in that place, and how many in the next, and how many in the next? But it just gives high level galactic look at the whole game.
And those are the things that we're working on with our developers website, is making the information easy to read, easy to follow, and more intuitive than it currently is. We hope to have a place where you can see all the stats on J1, J2, J3, J4, and you can also see all the stats on your own NFTs on our site. When we were starting to raise money for bootstrapping this project, we had something called Galactic Wish Well, where you could go throw cryptocurrency and make a wish. It was like an actual true sacrifice phase where you were just literally throwing money into a wish well and making a wish. We came up with this rewards program for them. These are the reward points with the art contest. Every dollar was worth points, and then you got bonuses for participating in more than one fundraising part. You also get reward points every time you mint a game piece. You start out as an informant. There's not really any rewards, so you get all the way up to lead operator, which has about 10,000 reward points. Anyone that was, in the top finalists of that art project, they would hit lead operator. They get some cool stickers and swag that we've mailed to quite a few people. And then you work your way up the ranks, and you go from operator to technician to agent to navigator to officer to admiral. The highest rank we have right now is second navigator. So these guys have several million points from donating really heavily in the mining phase and also minting a ton of the NFTs. These guys get spacesuits embroidered with their name on it. They also receive everything leading up to that. So all these printed out posters and stickers and patches and pins. So they get a whole plethora of stuff going on here. In the future, we're going to see how many points people can earn, because the next thing we have are like backpacks, laptop cases, nothing great. But then it moves into like custom watches, custom suits. And if someone is bananas enough to go all the way to Grand Admiral, which is 332 million points, by the way, they get a high-end car and a Grand Admiral cat. We're talking about $120,000 car. Obviously, they would get everything leading up to that as well. Custom watch, the tailored suit, laptop. This is a side game community knows a lot about. I don't think many people in crypto land know that there's reward points and there's the dark matter as well.
And are these associated with the NFTs, or are these, how does somebody contain?
Yeah, at first people earned points by throwing money in the wish well, maybe $20,000 or $30,000, and then we did the mining phase, and people got points for mining.
What is the ledger for these points? Are they held and captured by the NFT or some other way?
Some of these points are automated by things like minting the NFTs, and other points of these are manually added by our team to the back end. When we have things like the art contest, these would be manually added.
But added to what? To a person's name in an Excel spreadsheet? Or
it's tied to the address. We actually have the leaderboard on the website. If you scroll down here, this will show the points and the ranks, and they're tied to the wallet addresses.
Okay, there you go, tied to a wallet.
This demo account is number 163. It's still an informant. It's not doing great.
So if somebody wants to sell some of their fuel cells, they're not losing that reward point stuff.
You would never lose your reward points. They're with your rank forever. And we'll be changing this whole point structure right here to 500 points per NFT minted. This formula is going to go away, and it's just going to be 500 reward points for every NFT you mint.
All right.
The other thing that is also a side project is the sci-fi novel. So if you go to our AntiGravity Saga Telegram and you click on Rings of Dust book, we've actually had people helping us revise and edit a 25 chapter sci-fi novel. We're writing all the tokenomics that I've been explaining to you over the last 20-30 minutes embedded into this story. And we've been paying these people who have been reviewing the rough draft in reward points and dark matter tokens. Wow. So you can earn dark matter tokens and reward tokens with art, with helping with the book, and with minting the NFTs. All those things will push you up in the ranks.
Wow, that's pretty engaging. It's a lot to stay on top of.
We're maybe one of the stickiest communities, and again, as you can tell, one of the most complex and hard to understand communities in crypto at the same time. We always have something going on, because first, these journeys were going to be 120 days long with 30 days in between the lotteries. Thank God we shortened it to 11 days segments, because even at 11 days, we're losing people's interest. Or for instance, someone may come upon some dark matter either as a gift or they go buy some, and they'll say, what do I do? And I have to say, you got to wait 16 days, 19 hours to join the next round. That doesn't work very well in stickiness and keeping people's attention, right?
Yeah.
We're actually building another game on top of Dark, which is basically Russian roulette. It will market by Dark and it will be played in stable tokens. We're going to let people play Russian roulette while they wait for the next lottery as well.
There you go. Game within a game.
Yeah, it adds buy pressure and does market buys on thin liquidity. And of course, I don't know if you've heard the lore of the Pink Mist Well. This game is in honor of the Pink Mist Well. Pink Mist Well is this address that we've tracked since the beginning. It ends in 8090. This address would go donate money to the smart contract address before we had shared it with anybody.
Wow.
Yeah. So whoever this is really adept at reading the blockchain and finding things that people haven't published, but they've also have printed NFTs and minted more than anyone else. They're sitting on more dark matter than most people, and they've market bought tens of thousands of dollars of dark. Everything you could ever want a whale to do, this whale has done. In fact, we created this Pink Mist Whale token on tires.pump, and we told people all we want you to do with this token is send it to the Pink Mist Whale's address. That's it. And if you send Pink Mist Whale token to his address, then we will reward you with the NFT game pieces. And for a while, they were getting a dark token too. So people started sending millions and millions of Pink Mist Whale tokens to this address. And he's sitting on 72% of the supply right now.
Wow.
And this is what the chart looks like. If you want to see the power of a community.
Wow. That's amazing.
Like I said, this is only 73% that he holds. These big red candles are where he sold it for dark matter and minted during the last minting phase.
Okay.
So he sold it and bought dark and then sold it again and bought dark. And then now he's just sitting on it, either waiting till the next window to open, or who knows how high this chart could go if people send it to someone who never sells.
True.
The reason that I talk about the Pink Mist Whale so much, though, is that there's about 11% of the supply locked in liquidity. So altogether, they've got about 84% of the whole supply locked. Interesting thing about dark matter was that there's less than 1 million tokens. Out of those 1 million tokens, 500 have been burned or sent to the dark matter address. Basically, in the top 6 wallets of dark, there's 94% locked up. 3 of them are the smart contracts for the evil address, the treasury, and the lottery. One of them is the mystery box, which has been providing liquidity and doing giveaways. And then there's 2 wells, one of them including this Pink Mist Well. If you think about diamond hands, we have 94% of our supply in diamond hands already, and more of it is going to go into the treasury, which is going to reward the NFT holders.
Noticed any sort of like cyclical behaviors before journeys, or does this right after journeys end?
Yeah, we actually had a chart with bear faces and bull faces because we expect the price of dark to dump after every lottery payout. Because you have this big healthy pile of pressure, and if people don't want to go to Bistro, they can just sell it on the market.
Right.
So we were expecting these dumps during the lottery. It coincided with every black swan event we've had for the last 6 months.
Oh, so you can't read through it.
Like it was synchronistic. A lot of those were met with black swan events where the Hart's Law took everything down, even up to and including the lottery hit right during all this PDI stuff. You would be able to see that 45-day pattern repeating. And we believe that a lot of people would see this pattern and come to trade it. Traders love a good pattern. I think that as soon as people realize how few dark matter there actually are on the market and how valuable those NFTs might be in the future, we could see a real frenzy.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You got some good dynamics behind it that are similar to Watsa's and all that. Got the right game theory programmatics. Yeah, well, it's super creative, and you're a super creative blended with technical, which is really unusual.
Pulse Chain is 2 cycles ahead of everyone else. In 2 cycles, you'll hear the other communities talk about the stuff that we're talking about when it comes to liquidity providing and rehypothecation. That's stuff that most people couldn't wrap their heads around and probably won't for about 4 or 8 years. We're 3 cycles ahead, not because we're more advanced, we're just crazier.
That's why I say we're problem solvers. If we don't have it, we'll find it, build it, bring it, coordinate it.
Tenacious. Yes, we're a very, very tenacious
a good word.
Community that just doesn't give up. The reason that we planted our flag in Pulse was because this is where the community is.
Right.
We did a lot of the test net and a lot of the fundraising on Base and Pulse. and everything on base works perfectly, but there's no community there. People are what give value to money. Money is just ones and zeros or numbers on it about them. More NFTs are selling on Pulse Market. That's true. Like I said, check the address, because until someone reaches out and lets me know who that is and if we can reliably know if they've scraped their winnings or not, those may or may not be live or dead lottery tickets. I'm just going to say that. Good presentation. Thank you, CryptoCat46. 100 NFTs per journey, not financial advice. We've got a lot more tricks up our sleeve that we don't even talk about, because we got to see if the devs can build it, first of all. And then second of all, everything in crypto is hard. If you tell people you're going to have something done in 2 weeks.
Yeah, don't do that.
This is J3's winning piece of art, this 2-minute strange AI movie trailer. Check this out. Isn't that a cool black hole at the end? I have no idea what it means.
That's pretty wild. In fact, that's a power soundtrack too.
Is a quick trailer by Red Squirrel that's really pretty, that goes over a primer of the project right here.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's first class stuff.
Yeah, Red Squirrel says, still waiting for my 1000 dark. I sent them to Wilhelm. Wilhelm gave me an address, so I sent them to Wilhelm. He actually wrote a spin-off to our novel, which is quite interesting there in our Telegram. You'll have to check that out sometime. And then, of course, we got Corey, an investor, which we'll go out with last, but we're going to go with AJ Rip City Hex, that took from Spider and Red Squirrel and Cape, Figor, and there's 8 or 9 people that are all wrapped into this collaboration. So this is the one that we played down there in Panama for you guys.
Nova is here, he's the leader of Alpha, leading the charge. Yeah. With his main man Heavy, hit up right by, hit his side at the raid. Together they fight, the guards that corner, rich and valor, fighting for good. They refuse to back down in this war for justice. They wear the crown. Nova and Heavy Hitter, they rise from the dust. Fighting for the cause, they never back down. With Big Boy Leroy, his feet firmly underground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. Through shadows of doubt, they light up the way. With power and purpose, they seize every day. Their enemy tremble in the dark. Nova and Heavy Hitter, our heroes embark in the Bugatti that's covered by night. They bring the fire and ammunition to ignite. For it's Alpha they serve, their honor was true. Nova and Heavy Hitter, they rise from the dust. Fighting for the cause, they never back down. With Big Boy Leroy, his feet firmly on the ground. In the face of danger, they fight through it all. Champions of hope, they rise to the top. For every shadow, they bring the light. Nova and Alpha, defenders of the right.
There we go. Crypto Cat knows it's the right. Red Squirrel and Wilhelm. All right, and then of course the last one here is the one we started on, Coin Investor Dark Matter, where he literally does a tutorial in a rap, which is great. So here's a Coin Investor Dark Matter.
I'm talking AGP, AntiGravity, project I respect, staying true to the tech. We got the evil address and the pink Miss Will, got the dark matter token going up, I can tell. Hey, I can tell this is the start of something fresh. Shout out Hex Revision and on the Hex, yes. I confess, Hexicans don't stress, cause as a community we one up. So tell me, are you in, or tell me, are you out? Do you want to win, or do you chase the clout? What is this really about? The treasury and lottery. If you meant dark tokens, you can get a part of it. So how does it work? Let me explain. First you buy the dark token, now you're in the game. Then you mint the dark and get a fuel cell. That's an NFT, one that earns yield. As long as you have it, it feels like magic. But if you vaporize the NFT, that's tragic. So most think crypto is a game. Are you here for the fame, or here to make a name? See, Hexicans reign, we create our own lane. I thought I told you, we the new financial gain. AGproject.io with the flow. And if you know what I know, then you know what I know. That's just how it go. Something like to support the team, the dream. Public service announcement, t.me/anti-gravity saga. It's the telegram. Tap in. It's for y'all. I'm talking AGP, AntiGravity, project I respect, staying true to the tech. We got the evil address and the pink Miss Will, got the dark matter token going up, I can tell.